What's up, traders? Happy Friday. So the theme of this live stream is going to be, as the last couple of weeks, volume profile. And I really think that if you're not using these levels, you are leaving money on the table. They just have so much respect for it in trading. I'm just so excited to teach about it. I'm not asking anything in return. I just want you guys not to use these levels, and you are leaving money on the table. They just have so much respect for it. Sorry, Twitter. All right, but yeah. Hang on. If you're watching this later, just skip through the music. If you're on live, just wait while I get everything set up, and I'll be right back. All right. And as I was just playing here, this was the live, well, not live, but this was the replay of Wednesday this week. I actually made a video about it on TradingView YouTube and Twitter because it was just so amazing. And then there, of course, it stops. And that's where I closed my third contract. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to keep it real. I'm doing really good this week, and I'm just doing really good in general. I want you guys to as well. I realize that trading is very difficult. I've been doing it for about a decade now, and man, I wish I had known about this years ago when I started volume profile levels. And I know there's a lot of lines on the screen right here, and it's like, yeah, of course we can draw these lines, but if you go on Discord and you go back to Wednesday, and you'll see where I do my morning homework and I talk about where I want to trade, why I want to trade, and everything just came together. Thursday, I was proud of myself because normally I only take one trade a day, but I was able to take a loss and then actually keep using my skills to get it back in that day. And then Friday, today, again, just being honest, I was up way too late playing video games and I missed out. But when I woke up, I saw these levels and I just really hoped that someone was able to make money off these volume profile levels. Specifically, my trading this week was on the Nasdaq, but I also trade on the ES. But there was just this level here at 5105. that at the open today on the S&P 500 futures, this is a 1 minute chart. It came down and held it, and this 5105 is a level that I made on Sunday of this week, like Sunday when I did my pre-week research. That 5105 was the level to beat to get the market back to bullish. And if you go back my last week, I talked about, did we find support? And the answer is yes. The support that we found, I'm just going to, okay, let me start over with a fresh chart. The support that we found was this volume profile level here on the S&P 500 futures. And what I do, let me just, anyone new and just coming in, volume profile. Okay, this is a indicator in TradingView. It should be in other things as well, but it's just been like a cheat code. It's been a cheat code for finding support and resistance levels where price just flips. Really, I mean, it's the holy grail of trading. They say there's no holy grail in trading, and yes, it doesn't work every single freaking time like anything in trading. But man, it works really good. It's amazing, and you have to practice it, of course. I can't just say like, here's the levels, take this. You have to be able to be discerning about, where are these levels going to be important in particular. And when you drew a volume profile of a chart, you're going to find, and I like to do the volume profile of a trend or a consolidation period. I like to use the fixed range volume profile. Amer hopefully is going to talk, maybe convince me to use periodic, as he was talking to me before the live stream. But the levels that are going to be important, I think, are going to come from the actual trend itself. And of course, we got this big bullish trend from November in the S&P 500, and there's a lot of different levels on the histogram here. So which one's important? Well, we could say it's this one. We could have said that it is this one. There's a lot of peaks in this histogram right here. And so it does behoove us to look at these and see, okay, what is significant? But if we go back to last Friday, if you'll recall, what was going on in the world was there were missiles flying in the Middle East. And that brought us down to a level which we saw, or which we could see. And actually, this is the first time doing this. I already noticed something that's really amazing about it. But this is what we looked like last Friday. Yeah, last Friday. It's not going to let me do that. It messes up on the, there. And so we came down and we hit this level right here, 49.79, which is this little peak right here on the volume profile. So the fact that we were going into Friday with lots of fear, uncertainty, and doubt at a volume profile level, that to me seemed like a support. And so it's not a surprise to me that we rose off of that level. Now, as I'm coming in, I'm looking at these levels again, 50.36, if you'll notice, this was a little inflection point back here in February. And sure enough, Thursday, look at that. Bing! It just works so well. And then, of course, the 5105 is another major level, 5105 up in here. And that would be, I believe, this level right here. No, where is it? This one. And so all these levels from months ago, from this trend up, and of course, what I like to do is get a little more granular, but just for the sake of brevity using the daily, these are these peaks right here that are very important. And so this peak, even though it's smaller than the rest, is still very significant. Okay, so this peak came from this area price right here from February the 9th through February the 22nd. So literally 2 months ago. Dig down to the 1 minute time frame today, and that level is exactly, and market opens are timing elements. And so for something to hit it at that point, boom, that is a level from 2 months ago that manifests itself on a 1 minute time frame at the open, and we launch from there. Beautiful. It's freaking beautiful. And then where did it stop? This whole trade from 9:30 up until about 11 o'clock. Every 30 minutes is about a time element, by the way. But the most important, I think, are 9:30 and 11:30 when Europe goes offline. But from there to there, beautiful. I honestly, I just was not. Wednesday, I got lazy because I had such a great day Wednesday. I decided to just chill today. But I really want people to get active and start using these levels for their own good. Like, go make this money. Don't leave it on the table. Don't leave it on the table. Now, this other level, this yellow level right here, 51.14. That was one from prior price action. And so let me get over the chart right here. 51.14 comes all the way from this action right here from April the 12th. Let me take this off right here. So when price did this little action right here, this was from basically 3 a.m. So basically the night of Friday. Okay, so this is going into the day. Okay, so this is Friday 2 weeks ago. Was that Friday 2 weeks ago? Yeah, Friday 2 weeks ago. This action right here. Okay, we're going to volume profile that. And then that's going to give us a nice point of control. That's that red line right there, which the Friday from 2 weeks ago, boom, that's 51.69. Is that the level? Yes. Dig down and then, yeah. So essentially a volume profile level from 2 months ago. We can see this with our eyes. Draw it out, and then on the 1 minute, it then went from there all the way up to a volume profile level. Is that 50? Was that the same one? Or is it 51.60? Hold on. A lot of lines I know. I want to make this as simple as possible. By the way, guys, if you don't get, okay, that's 41.42. No, it's further back. Excuse me. This is why I want to teach this. Okay, so this actually comes back from even further. This actually comes back from February. Okay, yeah. So in February, this peak right here from this consolidation from February the 22nd through about March the 6th, that ends up being that 42 level. You can see these levels, the different levels of 41, 41, 51, 42, and further. Oh, and can we do this one too? Yeah. And then it comes relevant today. So that is tradecraft. And the one to be in was, of course, the one from 2 months ago. But it's just fascinating to me, invigorating to me that we can find these levels from months ago, and then this is where price inflects. And if you guys need help getting this, I'm on Discord every day answering questions. Join it down below. I'm not going to be ashamed about shilling it because it's just the best thing that I've found in a decade. And I'm just doing really good on it, and I hope you guys are too. And I want you guys to be doing good on it too. I'm not selling classes here. I'm not trying to make money off teaching. I'm doing this for free because I really want people to go through a much quicker trading education than I did. And that's just my honest truth. I really want people to do well in trading because trading is difficult. It's been very hard for me. I've lost a lot of money and then made a bunch of money, and so I want to speed up the process for people. And if I had known about this years ago, wow, it's just incredible. But I've taught the person that taught me, my friend's, the butthole whisperer. Yeah, that's what he's known as. But yeah, exactly. He kind of said to me, he kind of complimented me a little bit, saying that it's impressive that I picked it up pretty quick. But yes, lots of trading experience, years going into it, let me sort of kind of integrate it into my style a lot quicker, kind of see it a little bit better. So yeah, the process was probably a little bit quicker than me. Like I got into this about maybe, was it 3 months now ago, and it's radically changed my day trading. Like day trading to me used to be, I would say, challenging. It was challenging. It was very challenging. I would have good days and I would have bad days. But now I come into it with the confidence that if I just sit there and trade through the day, I'm going to have a good day because there's just so much respect for these levels. I mean, just as kind of a recap on Wednesday of this week. Let's see this. Let's go to the Nasdaq. I made a video about it. So if you guys go to TradingView or I even put it on Twitter or YouTube. Look in the Discord comments. It should be in YouTube updates. But I basically go through the entire process of starting with a fresh chart because, yes, there's lots of lines. And, as I was going through trying to remember, where my lines come from, that's homework. That's what you have to do. So you have to work a little bit. But I went through the whole process of clearing my chart. That's why I have multiple tabs up here because then I can just go here and remove drawings. Otherwise, I kind of like my drawings because, they're there and they work. But I went through the whole process of removing the drawings and finding them once again. Again, we knew going into this week that Nasdaq had hit a major level. I thought that we'd actually get a second pullback, and we may. we'll do the market update here in just a minute. We'll talk about crypto, all that kind of stuff, and of course, if you guys have symbols to look at, make sure that you put them in the chat, get them in there. I'm streaming to all three things right now. Also, make sure that you like and do all that kind of stuff too. I see a bunch of people in Discord. It makes me really happy. Those are my close friends and trading family. And so, yeah, I'm here for you guys. So I want to teach. I want people to make money. I do. Let me try. You guys you're into trading. Maybe you start trading for the money. I know I did. Like when I wanted to start trading, I wanted to buy a Nissan GTR. Seriously, and it was like $100,000 car. 12 years ago, back in 2009. Yeah, or more than that. Shoot, 15 years ago now. And I loved it. It was an all-wheel drive, Japanese sports car, go like really, really fast. And what was funny is later I actually sat down in it, and I'm like 6'3". I realized it was made for, more Japanese stature of people, and I wouldn't have enjoyed the car anyway. But by that point, I had gotten into trading, and the point that I realized that it was the most interesting endeavor I had ever tried. It's like a video game, and I love video games. And I made it became my passion. And so that's why I love doing it, and I've stuck with it for so long. See, I've been trading for like 15 years now. Geez, boomer. But I wish I had known about this back then. I wish I had. But anyway, make sure that you guys join. I'm here for any questions. Don't make me start charging, because unfortunately the people that do charge and do classes and that kind of stuff, they have these huge followings of people that I think that people value things that they pay for more than they're given. And unfortunately, that psychological component I may not be able to deny. But for now, I'm going to keep being real to me. I don't need to take money from people. I take money from the markets, but I want people to learn, and hopefully you guys can take it as given. Anyway, so I do kind of think that we're probably going to get at least one more little pullback here on the market. It's gone up a nice little hold right here on the Nasdaq and the ES on Thursday. Again, on Nasdaq, it's not quite as clear. Actually, if I incorporate that high there, let's see if we bring that in. Not quite. ES, though, the S&P 500, very, very clear that we had, of course, that major level that it came down to on last Friday on all the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And then we had that secondary volume profile level that it came down and held here on Thursday to kind of launch off of as well. And so we're getting a lot of bullish activity. I presume that we are bullish. By the way, we're in a bull market, in case you didn't know. And in any bull market, any given year, you have 2 to 3, -5 to -10% corrections. I repeat that over and over because I don't hear it being said on CNBC. CNBC and financial media, financial Twitter are more interested in, like, look at this chart. It's going to be like 2008. Just, you're not going to make any money that way. But we had a nice, healthy pullback. And there's a little bit of FUD associated with it so that the media can say that it's because reasons. But the real reason is because, and this is another thing that I made a video about when it happened, I made a whole live stream about it. You had a false breakout on the Friday. Yeah, actually, this was this week right here. Friday, the beginning of April, made a new high, closed back inside, wait for the bar to close, and then closed inside the red line, the Ichimoku Tenkan-sen, and that was what caused us to have a pullback. And it's way more useful to say that false breakout and a close below the Tenkan-sen, a close below the 50% of the recent movement was the reason. And as a trader, that's a lot more useful, because if you sit here and read the news and they're saying on this day, or really just those days, that, oh, market go down because reason, that's useless, because what happens? You get in short and then you hit a support. As a trader, I want to be shorting it up here, and you do too. These are a lot more useful. And so price moves before news. And that's what I try to do in making videos and live streams, is I try to share these techniques, these little warning signs, this astrology for men, as some people say, and it really does work. It works more than guessing, by far, and it works more than reading the news. and it's very useful for finding these kind of opportunities. And so what I'm looking for, and in case we haven't missed, I don't think we've missed a chance to get in this 5% pullback because market likes to do crazy kind of stuff. Okay, so I think what we're probably going to have next week is we'll have a pullback back down to sort of get people a little sketchy about it, or I mean we could just keep rising out that support. But bull market, bottom line, be looking for bullish opportunities going into next week. And then, of course, we're going to try to get up to that high. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Yeah. And so, all right. You're welcome, Volve. Hi. You want to learn trading? Well, keep watching. Keep watching. And go back and watch that video. I want to recap it, but I already sat down and made like a 17, almost 20-minute video about it that really was succinct to my points. It's a lot. I think you guys go and find. It was from this earlier this week. Let's see. Where's my channel? Where is my channel? Yeah. So go on YouTube and go to just the videos that I did this week were the trading cheat code, because that's what I think volume profile is. Go back and watch that video. It has to be some of the best. Like it's better than anything else. I'm tooting my own horn, but I really want you guys to really understand the process that I go through of trying to find these levels, because that is kind of the artistic point of it. But it's going to find you levels of support and resistance. It's that holy grail. I hate to say that because that's such a wrong thing to say in trading. There is no holy grail, but it really finds levels that price reacts to. It really, really does. At least way more than anything else. Like if you guys have been following me for a long time, I used to use a lot of 50% retracement levels in pretty much everything that I did. And what I found by going back through some of my old trades that I did 50% levels on, like for instance, Amazon, I know I talked about this last week, but yeah, definitely to put up a little recap. Amazon has been the trade of the century. And I say that because essentially from the December, or basically 2001 low over 20 years ago to the 2021 low, a 20-year time span, came back to the 50% retracement level and held. And that's been, well, I'm talking about that since the beginning of 2023. Like, this is an amazing trade. And here we are now at the high, and now it's got to do its little high thing where it's got to break it. But this has been going on for over a year now. But when I go back and I look at it, and even on a monthly time frame on a stock, on an equity, and I do a volume profile of this level up here, then what I find, okay, that's going to be kind of difficult. Let's do the actual level itself, this area right here. This is a phenomenon, by the way, where volume profile likes to hang out around here. And that's because there's just so much data back there. So let's fix that. Here's the trick to fix that. Find the level prior there, and then do the volume profile. And you'll notice that the point of control, the red line for basically this area right here, let's just draw a box around it so you guys know what I'm talking about. This area right here, which is where price kind of messed around between 2017 and 2020. Is that yeah? So there's actually COVID low. I think the fact that everyone was going to be at home meant Amazon did so freaking well. But basically, I mean, there's a lesson here too about jumping into stuff FOMOing. Really, every year is experiential in trading. And I hope you guys have been following this. The markets over these couple of years. I mean, we've gone through a lot of like EV stocks being hot. Pot stocks were before that. COVID stocks like Peloton and things like that. I mean, just don't buy the stuff that people are yelling about. Just don't. Just if people are really excited about something, if people think that it just can't lose Bitcoin, kind of take a step back and do your own analysis and try to be as dispassionate as you can. Because once people have been convinced that it's the best thing since sliced bread, it's pretty much too late. At least in that time, there's always going to be a pullback. And in this case with Amazon, there is. But anyway, so Amazon in the early part of 2023, the end of 2022, that bear year we had, pulled back all the way to the COVID era. So everybody was like, I got to buy Amazon. I got to buy Amazon. No one's going to go to stores anymore. Throughout the entire process of 2020 and 2021, you had another opportunity if you just waited. And it's hard to wait. Patience is hard. I get it. But we came back to that level. So volume profile, that era, that price era, ERA. And you see that, and I'll be honest, I bought here at 94.56. You can go back to Discord and you can look, and I'm like 94.50. I was talking about it. But the volume profile level around that era actually ended up being a superior entry. The more precise entry where price actually responded. It kind of messed around here in November, and of course it kind of went a little below it there in the early part of 2023. But this right here is a beautiful, beautiful setup. This is a spike. This is something that I still use spikes. But before I started getting into volume profile, the reason I have that indicator right there, that spike indicator, which by the way is free. If you send me a message on Discord with your TradingView username, I will give it to you on TradingView. It basically just shows where price does false breakouts. In this case, price opened this day, March the 13th, 2023, below this prior low, and then closed back inside that red line, the Ichimoku Tenkan-sen, in the same bar. And that is a false breakout. That is a very, very good reversal signal. And that's why I made an indicator to show it. It's not fancy. It's not really like a magical algorithm. That's why I like people to have it for free, because it's very useful. But notice what that level bounced off of. Wow. And so what I realized over the process of going back through my old trades, my old wins, things that I had done and are doing well, like Amazon, as I'm learning volume profile, I'm long from 94.56, from last year, and we're already sitting up here 3 months ago at, I'm doing well, but all I ask is for perfection. But it also lets you be able to refine your entries. I mean, there's a whole, 89, 94 to 89. There's $5 there. That's maybe an extra share that you could have bought. It just really helps you optimize your trading even long term. This week, I am remiss that I found this a little bit late, but I got an alert. When I talk about spikes, I do a scan on Thinkorswim, and it runs every day. And sometimes I look at it, sometimes I don't. But oftentimes, TradingView data is not quite the same. So I got that alert here on Wednesday, April the 24th. That's Wednesday a week ago. Here we have a bearish spike, which, there you go. The reason spikes, I'm never going to get away from them, is because they're always going to work in markets. I mean, stuff like that where price shoots up. This is an opening spike and closes back inside that level. That is a reversal signal right there. That topped out. But the initial spike, give me just a second. I've actually got to pull up this on Thinkorswim. Let me show you guys. 1 second. I need to obfuscate a little bit. Okay. So this is what my Thinkorswim chart looks like. Let me show you this. Make sure. Yep, it does. And so here is this spike at 9:30 on Wednesday of the 17th, a week ago. Not this Wednesday, but the Wednesday week ago. And so it's a spike down, and it doesn't quite show up on Thinkorswim data. Doesn't quite show up on TradingView data, but it's this bar right here. That's why I know it exists. Okay. And so imagine that this bar goes down just a little bit more. I'm going to trust Thinkorswim data a little bit better than TradingView, by the way. So I'm going to go with that. But this is the data right here. And then when I go back and I look at, okay, where is this? Where is this in the grand scope of things? Let's volume profile this trend getting up here. And what we find is that the point of control of this trend up, 72.84, which doesn't quite hit it there, but If we pull it up on TradingView, I'm going to find you guys a better example where I can show it in both TradingView and whatever, but 72, 94 right here. So yeah, just bing, hits it and goes. And so this is not something I have completely integrated yet. Again, I just started using volume profile analysis 3 months ago, but spikes are something I've been doing for years to find reversals. And now if I'm going to see one of these volume profile based spikes, just going back to the original thing I was saying, Amazon off that 20-year volume profile level. Hold on, let me clean it up. That day, go back and look at it. Do the research yourself, guys. If you have TradingView, I think you can do fixed range profile in free version, but just go back and look at Monday, March the 13th, 2023 on Amazon and see how it pings and launches off of that level. And so those are the kind of things that I want to find. That is what I've rededicated myself to finding is evidence of these volume profile levels being major inflection points, because no one wants to take drawdowns. You want to buy something and have it go up, don't you? I know I do. So, all right. Questions. If you guys have questions, post them in the chat. We're going to move into the you guys section of it. And so if you guys have questions, let's put it in. All right, so get your questions in the chat. Let's start reading it. Yeah, we're going to look at some crypto. Cardano, Stellar, Emos. Okay. Sure, let's do that. All right. Oh, Amer, I promised to talk about your thing. So periodic volume profile, do you think I should use that more than anything else? Hold on a second. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I can give you predictions, but can you type in the chat though for me? Definitely going to do Bitcoin while you do that. So, yeah, let's just talk about that while you kind of compose your thoughts. So Bitcoin's been kind of boring. Bitcoin has been kind of boring, but let's redo our key level analysis. I've got it up here on my trading profile here. It's a lot of lines, but let's start over. Let's start over at Bitcoin. So key levels are going to be as such. And if you go back and you look, as a technical trader, these last few weeks, though they have yielded not very many, they have yielded a lot more trading long-short opportunities as opposed to the last few months, or basically the run of the whole ETF hype. So the ETF hype has kind of died out. It has. You know, it did really well to get things up to the all-time high, but in a lot of the Bitcoin maxi chats that I talk in, where they like to make fun of me for being a trader, because as Michael Saylor says, that trading Bitcoin is a sign of lower intelligence. I mean, okay, boomer. I mean, yes, if you have just bought Bitcoin and held on to it, there's no mathematics that could show that you could have done any better, right? That's actually not true. And I'm waiting for Bitcoin to cross the Ichimoku cloud, which it is slowly traversing, to make a video about how trading with the Ichimoku cloud, my favorite way to trade Bitcoin, is superior to buy and hold. That's coming. Well, it's coming if we close on this other side of the cloud. I'm waiting. But if you want to, you can go through my YouTube videos and you can do a search for Ichimoku on my YouTube videos, and you'll find the ones I've done about this particular strategy, where you look for price to get on the bullish or the bearish side of the Ichimoku cloud, just like it did here. That's bullish. Just like it did here. That's bullish. It did not quite get here, so you never closed that trade, and you stayed in all the way from October until you're still in it. You're still bullish in a long-term trade from October unless we close on this side of the cloud. And this has actually been a better strategy than buy and hold, because it keeps you out of these minus 70 to minus 90% drawdowns on Bitcoin. But it requires a little bit of thought, and a lot of Bitcoiners, well, I mean, you know, they figured that US dollar is going to fail and the only money is going to be Bitcoin because reasons. And they don't need to apply this kind of effort. I think that's lazy, and I think you can do better, but we'll wait for that. But anyway, the levels have been very, very, very important. The past levels have been very important in Bitcoin because those three levels I drew, by the way, as I was talking, I didn't really explain them. Those are the all-time highs, the prior all-time highs. And a lot of Bitcoin people were like, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Bitcoin's going to 1 million. You know, it doesn't matter if it's 60,000. You buy it at 60,000 or 72,000. Just buy it. Everyone buys Bitcoin at the price they deserve. Oh, I bought it at 72,000. I'm going to be so smart because all those people tell me it's going to be 1 million. It's not going to matter. It's going to matter if it goes down, 70% like it likes to do multiple times in its history. But those all-time highs, even though people would tell you they're not really significant, when we got to this price action right here, where you had a bar that closed on the first week of March, it closed right at that level, held it, and then the following week shot up and created a false breakout. It made a new all-time high. It did. But then it closed back inside the last all-time high. Not good. I actually had a bet with some of my Bitcoin friends that I would don a priest outfit and then, bless the bull run onward to six figures if it closed a week above that high. And fortunately, I didn't have to. But I was trying to make a point to them because they don't believe that these levels matter. Hopefully now they do. And of course, it made a few more attempts. And what's really interesting is if you go back and you look at some of these more daily time frames, you'll find where those past all-time high levels became very important for day trading or short-term swing trading. This last segment of price and time right here, this era has become a trader's market. I've had 3 winning trades inside this range right here. I lost trying to short it here. Oh well, I don't fight the bull trend, but I've made it back in this era right here because this is more of my type of market. And yes, volume profile has been incredibly useful in here. And so what's happened is price has been very respectful of both volume profile and those past all-time high levels. But the volume is drying up. This was really useful here. This was a 10% move, I believe. Actually, no, this is more than that. So I was able to catch, let's just go back to this one. I'm going to give you my updated analysis here in just a second. But I just want to kind of recap volume profile and its importance in the past several weeks of trading. And so if we volume profile okay, there we go. If we volume profile that big down move off that all-time high fail, when it failed out on the 13th of March down to this low, you can see where the point of control, the highest point in the volume profile was what? 67,991. And what did price do? Bam. Great freaking trade. Posted it, proud of it. Had to sit through that little pullback, but that was a really, really great trade. Now the problem is, as you see, this was a big trend from there to there, and of course that went down to, where did that go down to? Let me. So if we wind this up and we get this block of price right here, so that's what I like to do. Analyze the block of price where price kind of messes around, and then that made for the exit for that trade. So basically, the trade was from one volume profile level of the leg down, and then this area right here. And so that, not exactly perfect, but when you're taking profit, you don't really care. Entry was very perfect, but that ended up being a nice, juicy, what is that? How many percentage points is that? My ruler. That is a 7% move. I'm sure you guys are using, 100 leverage, so that's 700%. So yeah, good job. You eight-tupled your account if you did that. Wait, 100 leverage? No, that's only 10. What am I thinking? 10x leverage on crypto? Wow, I must want to stay poor, not using the full 100 leverage. Jeez, that'd be 7,000%. Yeah, that's what we need to do. No, No, I'm being facetious in case you can't tell. I don't know why people want to use leverage in crypto. I mean, the thing can move double digits in a day or an hour. Just I've been look, I've gotten burned with leverage a decade ago. All right. So it's a lot easier for me, but just go through that process, just yourself. Anyway, on to the analysis. So my green lines again, guys, were the past all-time highs, those three levels from 2021. And you can actually see where in this week, Monday, that middle level right there from the October 2021 high, 66,998, is exactly what held as resistance. So this is a level from 3 years ago, comes into play here on the 30-minute time frame this week and holds it down. And then what happened? You got a spike at the April 2024 all-time high right there. So Bitcoin, at least in the short term, this week has not gotten bullish. It has shown every evidence of coming up to long-term resistances and holding. Now, it's not particularly interesting to me to trade right now, and that's just kind of a gut feeling. And that's because, like I said, I had a really great volume profile trade, back in late March, and I'm just satisfied. I'm a lot more easily satisfied with trading and trading in specific times. Last week I talked about a friend of mine who was long, super leveraged up, and he got long down here, and it got a little messy. It was into last Friday, but he got rewarded because he got this move up, over the course of Friday and the weekend. And then coming into this week, he was able to close out at break even, because that's what you do when you get down really far. You resolve yourself to close out at break even, right? That's a horrible strategy, but anyway, not going to pick on him too much. I want him to do better. I want everyone to do better. Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, ask more, but also don't break your rules, and that's what he did. Anyway, he hopefully can learn his lesson in the abstract rather than painfully. But I'm not trading right now. I'm not in any Bitcoin trades except for BITI, and BITI is the inverse ETF, and that's just kind of hanging out just the same. I'm long BITI because I am betting on Bitcoin going down, and so I am net short. I have a short position in BITI by being long it. But so far, there's nothing that has changed my mind about it. In fact, like I said, it's holding these long-term resistances, just basically stair-stepping down. But as far as like individually trading it, this kind of a chart right here, again, that trade that I made was a 7% move in Bitcoin. So even from this low to this high, well, that's 12%, but still, it's just not as much. It's not as juicy, and it's way too choppy. It's getting way too choppy. And this is what happens when Bitcoin slows down. I just don't feel it. That will change though. I'm more than happy to come in. There is a more recent trade that I took, but I don't remember what it was. But that was the big one from a couple weeks ago. But I haven't really been interested in day trading Bitcoin recently. So that's my answer to Bitcoin. I am slowly just watching this thing hold its resistances this week, and it looks like it wants to try to traverse the cloud, maybe get on the bearish side, but it could hold and go up. And if it can get back up here with momentum back as well, then we may be good to go. So right now it's a wait and see. It's a wait and see, but I'm happy being short. BCH trade. BCH is one where I posted about this on Discord. Didn't make a trading view article about it, but this was one of those things where I was enamored by volume profile, because normally what I would do is I would look for, this is Bitcoin Cash, by the way, and my self-made marketing tool for Bitcoin Cash is, it's like Bitcoin, but you can use it. Because, let me pull this up. So in case you guys didn't know, there's a big thing, not really a big thing, it didn't change much, but it might. The Bitcoin halving has happened. So that great and vaulted thing that everyone was looking for to give them that next bullish push after the ETF launch has come and gone. And so now, all those charts people posted about how after the halving, number goes up, we see. That is what people have been betting on. That is what they have been buying Bitcoin for, trying to front run it. I'm making emphasis on this because that's what people do when they know something is happening, when news is happening. They buy it ahead of time, and then when the actual news happens, the question is, what is left to push it up further? It's a rhetorical question, but it's an important question. What is the next event in Bitcoin that is going to give it a huge bullish thrust? What is it? What I don't know it. What it requires now is new people to come in and buy up supply in large amounts, more than the miners are spending and mining out, and to really push this number up. And I read something, this is kind of a troll by Peter Schiff, but, I think a lot of, and I agree with him though, I think a lot of Bitcoin enthusiasts have bought a lot of Bitcoin and they're sitting in comfortable, positive positions. They're probably sitting at perhaps, double, maybe triple, depending on when they got into it. But that's not really what they wanted. The whole point of buying Bitcoin is that, I'm paraphrasing, but the whole point of buying Bitcoin is that the US dollar is going to fail and the whole world is going to switch to Bitcoin. I'm not really over exaggerating too much. I mean, if you get deep into the weeds of, some of these Bitcoin podcasts, that's what they want people to believe. And I don't think that's really true on both a technical level and a, human, psychological, economic level. But anyway, that's what they say. And so they're looking at no less than 250K Bitcoin, 1 million Bitcoin. I've actually done my own bullish predictions, and I think this cycle is probably going to top out somewhere around 145. So, it depends on when it happens. Might happen at the end of the year. Depends. If we get a pullback, this is the curve, and I've done videos about this. Maybe I'll do a standalone. But basically, the returns of Bitcoin have become, they're increasing, but at a decreasing rate. So while I think that we're probably going to see six-figure Bitcoin in the future, it's probably not going to be as excessive as people think it is. A lot of people want history to repeat. A lot of people want to presume that they are at this point, a decade ago, and going to receive these, not just double-digit percent returns, but triple, quadruple, 1,000% returns that are historic in Bitcoin. But the actual curve of price appreciating has begun to slow down, and it's ironic, or rather, telling that that's also very closely correlated to the supply curve. How and why this works, I'm not going to make up some great economic theory. I'm just looking at the charts, and this is my analysis. And so my expectations would be, the top of this cycle, whenever it may be, is going to be about 145K, which is about a 2x from now, which I think is a lot better to consider risk-reward-wise than some random number that is way higher and will make each person millionaires just by buying this and doing nothing. And $300,000, $250,000 Bitcoin, I think that's possible, but I think it's probably going to happen more closer to 2030 than it is to 2025. That's just what the logarithmic projection of Bitcoin has told me. It's a lot more conservative, and it's not very meme-worthy, but that's what I'm going on. And I just don't think that now, especially, is a very good risk-reward time in that thesis. But a lot of people disagree. But one thing that got me interested in Bitcoin Cash recently is just simply the fact that, with the halvening happening, miners getting less rewards, and people trying to use these runes, which I have no idea what they are. In fact, the people that do know, that I trust for their information, they just kind of roll their eyes at it. Ordinals are another source of revenue for miners and things like that, basically smart contracts or NFTs, I guess, really. Just they're NFTs on Bitcoin. But all this cool stuff, all these cool story bros have essentially made Bitcoin transaction fees. On the day of the halvening, they shot up to over $200 per transaction with something like hours of wait time. But now the average transaction, they got a little more reasonable. Yeah, this is the average, but I know there was a peak of like 200. In fact, someone told me there was a $500,000 transaction that happened right after that happened. It was some kind of special case, some rune or some ordinal they were trying to do. But it spiked there, and now it's kind of leveled off, but still it's like about $20 to $13, let's say. So, 30, 13 to do a transaction. So it's not really apparent to me how we are going to, I say we, but human beings are going to use Bitcoin to replace fiat currency if every time you use it, you have to, spend that much in transaction fees, including incur a taxable event. But that's a whole other story. 44% capital gains. Yeah, that's going to be very hard to do as a currency anyway. Read up on that. I'm not going to go into that in politics. But Bitcoin Cash, less than a penny. It's basically because Bitcoin Cash has larger block sizes than Bitcoin. It lost the battle years ago, and that's really because the miners who spent billions of dollars on specific ASIC mining hardware did not want to switch, render all their investments moot. And so they decided not to switch, and number go up on Bitcoin, what I'm now calling Bitcoin Legacy. I'm now calling BTC USD Bitcoin Legacy. But Bitcoin Cash is a very good example of 50% versus volume profile, in that you have the 50% level at 468, roughly, if you draw from that low. But then we have this little volume profile node right here, which is just so pretty. It's just so sharp. We can zoom in and we can find it more precisely. And what I found was so cool about this about a week or two ago was that you had these 3 days, April the 13th, April the 17th, and April the 19th. It's holding that 50% level, but those volume profile levels were just mwah, mwah, mwah. Just beautiful, beautifully beautiful. And it's just another example of how volume profile holds things up. And so I'm actually more interested now, if we do even get a bull run in Bitcoin will be bullish because it's all going to be correlated in Bitcoin Cash. And the reason for that is this. If we look at the year-to-date performance of Bitcoin Cash, to here, it's 96%. Okay, 96%, almost 100% return since the beginning of the year. And Bitcoin Legacy from January the 1st to here is about 45%, half. So even with this pullback in Bitcoin Cash has still doubled the return in a year that Bitcoin Legacy has. And like I say, it's Bitcoin, but people can use it. Still has the same supply. Still has all the same properties of Bitcoin. Doesn't have an ETF. Doesn't have the memes. But you can actually use it. And so the only two cryptocurrencies I really care about owning is my favorite, Monero, for its privacy reasons. And now I've warmed up to Bitcoin Cash. It's just a gut feel. This hashtag, this is not financial advice. Hashtag, this is not financial advice for sure. But I look at things like that. I look at it holding this 50% level in volume profile. I got to play that because I love volume profile now. And it's also outperforming Bitcoin. So it's just like, where's my better reward? Where's my better risk reward here? And I think it is actually Bitcoin Cash. All right. So let's kind of start going through people's things and wrapping up here. Cardano says we're on cryptocurrency now. I'll start looking at the Discord ones. Cardano USD. So Cardano was an interesting 50% retracement. I'm going to do a little history here that held back here, which I know for a fact in live streams, someone came in here in December and they were asking me about Cardano, and I said, wait for a pullback. You got a 50% pullback, then you got this run up right here, and it has come back very sloppily to this 0.46 level, but it really shouldn't have come back. And the problem with all these altcoins, all these coins other than Bitcoin, is they're just so heavily correlated to Bitcoin that they are basically going by Bitcoin's emotions. And so as long as people are very interested in Bitcoin, then people are going to be interested in altcoins. And it's just been a very common trend. And, since this is my podcast and I can say whatever I want, I'm just going to be like, guys, just slow your roll in these altcoins, guys. I really want you all to make as much money as you can in life, but way too many people are trying to get into altcoins right now for me to think that it's a really good opportunity. The best opportunity to get in something is when everyone thinks it's dead. Okay, and to be fair, I haven't heard it much in the last couple of weeks, but really and truly was in March. In March of this year, everyone, all my friends were talking to me about getting into altcoins. Like, I really want to get into altcoins now. I was like, really? Why? Why now? They're like, well, I think that's going to have some really good gains. Like, I was like, yeah, but I love you, bro, but you're one of like 5 friends this week has told me they want to get into altcoins, and that makes my contrarian brain kind of go like danger, like that everyone wants to do it at once. It just things don't work that way. They work the opposite of that way, and now things have pulled back. Oh, where's my friends? XRD USD. Oh, do I want to look at this? This is his big pick. Yeah. See, this XRD had done a nice spike in early March, and then I told him, hey, dude, it already hit your 3-to-1. He's like, no, man, I'm holding this for $1. I'm like, okay. It makes me very constipated to see this. I mean, you got to get a bull run in Bitcoin. I mean, it's man. So many people's money is hedged in. They think they're diversified in different. I almost said shit coins, but they think they're diversified, but you're not. It's all crypto. That's the bottom line. It's all crypto. Whether it's Cardano, which I gotta say, it is at a level. No denying it. Cardano. Let me redo it again. So do the consolidation here. From back here, not only do you have that 50% level, it is also a volume profile level. It is a beautiful, beautiful support. I can't deny it. I love it. It's a prior support, beautiful support. It's just, there's your volume profile from that era right there. Point of control. You can see where price has respected it. It's respecting it now loosely, but this is the level to hold. If you start getting into the lower 40 cents on Cardano, hashtag not financial advice. I would cut. I mean, it's just, otherwise you're just going to bag hold through another one of these. I mean, guys, like, don't bag hold, man. Don't bag hold. I mean, don't get yourself in that valley of risk that I talk about. All right, let's look at some other stuff. Let's start wrapping things up. XLM USD Stellar. This just looks gross. Like I'll just be honest. When I see things like this, we'll do a volume profile on it, and there's your last level right there at 8.088 cents. I hate these decimal things. But yeah, there's your level there. It hasn't quite touched it. It's kind of nasty. It's just not getting any momentum going. I mean, I want to see things like this. I want to see things that are trending. What are some trending cryptocurrencies that actually have done well? Litecoin's not really an example. Unfortunately, Monero's not. I mean, no Lambo there, but at least no one will know how rich you are. All right. Let's go through. You still there, Volva? Got any more questions about that? I wish I could tell people like, hey, this is going to be great and that kind of stuff. But my honest experience is just that you got to be careful, man. And maybe boomer stuff, like, I mean, look, the stock market this year has been on a tear. So has crypto, but not all of these cryptos. In fact, 99% of these altcoins are not going to be here, or they're going to be gone. But companies that produce goods and services are going to be around. And I think you really kind of have to take a step back from all this new stuff. And this is me. I got into crypto when I was 28, back in 2010. Yeah, 2010, 2011. I loved it. But this is me. I've turned into a boomer. I mean, look, there's been a decade of just a lot of promises and nothing that has really changed the world as people say they are. I mean, smart contracts are cool. Monkey pictures are great. But Amazon, my girlfriend, every day, multiple boxes, she's not using crypto. She's using Amazon. And so companies that do things actually produce goods and services and generate revenue and produce value for people. Like, these are things that you can put money into and own as a part of, and know they will not turn $1,000 into $1 million in a few days, as people think that crypto will, because they see someone on Wall Street Bets or Reddit doing it, supposedly with a screenshot that they may or may not have made themselves. But over the long term, people are going to want things that are producing wealth. And for the vast, I can't think of anything that's not this. Cryptocurrency so far has been a way to absorb wealth. And there's a conspiracy that it may be a big conspiracy to absorb all this inflated money. Maybe. I don't know. Created by the government. Bitcoin was created by the federal government. Maybe. I don't know. Some people would tell you that. All right. But yeah, I mean, RTX, yeah. Stocks, guys. Stocks. I don't feel bad saying that. Palladium, as in the metal. But give me a symbol on TradingView, please. All right, let me go back through some things. But I don't feel bad saying that. I hate to be the crusher of dreams, though. But, you know, it's just things like Amazon, like I talked about earlier. I mean, this is, yeah, I mean, you buy it here, you buy some shares, you've doubled your money in a year. I know that's so weak to double your money in a year. I know that's just not enough. But Amazon's not going to go away. It's and even if it does stop here and hang around in 5 years, it's going to be higher than $183. I mean, I'm very confident saying that. I mean, I'll say 5 years because that's a big long hedge. But yeah, it's. I mean, look at Facebook. I mean, Facebook. That had a massive drawdown from 21 down to 22, but it's already just tearing. And so even in something where, you know, you look at a chart like this and you're like, oh no, I have missed it. Oh no, I must buy. I mean, there's two ways to do it. You buy it here and you then sit back and really kind of get mad at yourself because you bought at the high. And as long as you don't despair and sell at the bottom, you buy at 360 and you're still up about $100 on it a couple years later. But, you know, you start looking at some of these cryptos that have been around for a very long time, like, you know, Litecoin and 2018, 2021, and just using this for example, I mean, you're down 60%, you haven't recovered. It's because Litecoin doesn't make anything. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't generate revenue. It's entirely based on people's perception of its value. And that's what this whole crypto thing's been based on, is perception of value, which is the same thing that stocks are, but their perception, it can be based on something a little more tangible, like money coming into these companies. And so I've become a big stock maxi. Yeah. All right. Let me go back and check and start getting everybody's things from the chat in. GBP USD. Sure thing, Amer. Let's take a look at it. I've been trying to integrate volume profile into Forex, and so far I have not yet found many ways. But although you do see here already, before you even said it, I have looked at GBP USD, and interestingly enough, I'm just going to leave these lines here. So this is from the downtrend. This is on the daily of GBP USD, Great Britain pound, US dollar, from June of 21 down to the low of September. There's that big trend. And so we've got, you know, inflection points. Actually, I remember doing this. I was quite impressed with actually what the inflection points were showing here, because you have this inflection point here at about 131, and that was exactly where it topped out here in July of 2023. It kind of broke below this one, but so far this level right here at 125 did definitely set up some support, and now it has broken it here, come back and retested it just this week. This is the daily, and I would say that now you'd be looking for a short trade down to 122. I can't put my Norok stamp of approval on volume profile for Forex just yet, because the volumes are going to be a little bit wonky because of the different exchanges. In fact, one of the reasons I never used volume was because I started trading in Forex, and you typically didn't have volume to go off of. But I can draw it, and it seems to be doing okay. So, all right. But, yeah. What is NQQ? Is that Nasdaq? I think I talked about that. Bull market, stock market, bull market. Had pullback, waiting for maybe another opportunity. Assume we close higher at the end of this year. BITI, I talked about that. That's just basically on predicate on Bitcoin, which, we're just kind of sitting and waiting, seeing who gets to win. But I'm short. Okay, DWAC is not DWAC. That is DJT. Come on, man, get with it. So, oh, sorry, Jen, I've got your picture down here. So Jen is actually a great trader. He actually really feels the market. And he pointed out that, he was down 57% on this day, which was, it was close to the open, so it's right up here. So you didn't quite catch the bottom. You need to get better, get good. But it's, that day right there when the whole market was seeing like, it's horrible. These yellow lines, of course, are going to be volume profile levels. And that level there, 27.96, let's just go back and let's draw out our levels, because these are going to be based on this era of price here. So if we go and say, boom, is that level, because those are really kind of the two prominent levels. And then down here, those are going to be our three major levels. And we go and look. Not perfection, but it definitely there, that 24 level that we saw is where it kind of bounced and go. So I don't think you should have sold this before November. I mean, I think I said that to you. I mean, this is basically, as we get, you kind of want, I still have mine since DWAC. I do. I've just left them because it's going to be interesting to see how and if this responds to like poll numbers. And that's not really going to become really useful until after the convention. And so I really am interested to see, I'm not going to add to it, but I'm interested to see what this does, because so many people got so excited about shorting it because they hate Donald Trump. But man, it's just sometimes the most ironic thing can actually be the thing that happens. And so, yeah, your levels here, 67.21, very messy there. All right, well, let's just do this. What's the volume profile of this going up? So, point of control, if you can get it to beat, see that level there and then that. Yeah, if you can get it over 45, 44, that could get very bullish. All right, AMD. Now, this is one that I posted about, and I actually had to stop myself out of. I don't like that, but that's Archer Daniels Minute. AMD. So this one was one I did, and I tried to play it off the 157 level, but it does seem that it has come down and more likely held the 148 volume profile level, which was, frankly, a bigger and better level. I think I was really kind of thinking in my head that I wanted to try to get a level around this 50% level, because I have this vestigial desire to kind of play into the 160 level, but that is little bitty compared to this down here. What about that one right there? And so AMD, the level for it to hold is, look at that. Price does respond to these levels, but this is why it's not 100%, because you have to pick the level that you're going to play. And so really these two levels here, the 148 and the 145, obviously now in hindsight, as most things are, the 145 level, which is there, it's still in the histogram, but that is the level for it to hold. And so the final level's down there, but I don't think it should get down that far. I think long from 145 is a good position to be. Don't let it get down below that too much. All right. NVIDIA. NVIDIA is very interesting. Let's see what it did here at the close, because it has its own suite of volume profile levels, and it's looking like it's conquering them. The volume profile level for it to really beat coming into next week, if it's going to be bullish, the next resistance is going to be 886. That's the whole volume profile point of control of the top out that we had. But so far, it seems to be holding pretty strong. JP Morgan. Don't think I've done one here. It had a little false breakout that didn't play out there. But going up here, it's a lot of little things. Let's just look at the most significant ones. So, little trick that I talked about is like just kind of draw yourself a little vertical line and say, all right, these are the ones I'm going to consider. And so we're going to consider all the ones. Well, the prominent ones are going to be, of course, here at the top, the point of control there. These, you got a lot of stuff around here around the point of control, and probably this would be the last one there. Yeah, let's go ahead and put these in. Point of control is going to be most important, of course, but that's because we're catching all this right here. All right, and so it looks like it's hard to really say that these are going to be really useful. Honestly, if I was going to buy this, I'd wait till it came down to these more important point of controls. But it's bullish, and so the level to beat is 198.72. If one was long, that would possibly be like about 198, 199 would probably be the level that you want to take some profit. I wouldn't short it necessarily. All right, let's see. DVN. Jen, can you make sure I'm not missing anything? I did Bitcoin, got Aimer. What's up, Red Rum? Bitcoin was created by Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah. How's he going to use that to get people to his island? All right. DVN. Nice 50% hold. Does that 50% match with the volume profile? What do you guys think? We got that action right there. Let's see. Oh, it's all down here. Yeah. But of this little bulge right here, bulge in the histogram, that being the highest point, 29.32. Be a little more precise. 29.28. Zoop. Where is it? Oh, it's way down there. Okay. This one right here, the point of this one, that's really kind of that area right there. What we can do is we can try to validate that like so. Grab this area right here. There's our point of control. Boom. Let's actually go back in time and grab this too. I want to see what's around here. More like right here. Boom. All right. And then go to it. It's around the 50%. I mean, we knew that going into it. We're kind of looking hindsight. But that is a good level. DVM bullish. Looking good. 42 is the level to hold. Looking good. Looking good. Definitely good. All right. So, Steve, so these are coming from the live stream chat. Hi, what's that indicator called? Which one? The volume profile or the spike indicator? Spike indicator is that is something that you send me a private message on Discord, and I'll give it to you on TradingView. Just gotta have your username, and I'll tell you how to get to it. Hi, Nora. Good to sit on your weekly review again. What was your experience with ICT concepts? Take a look at ES Draw and the 10-minute FVGs on Wednesday and Wednesday made the hour chart. Maybe. Though Mamala, someone I think, is it you, has talked to me about something ICT, but I don't remember exactly what that stands for. Let's talk a little more offline about it if you want to. Hold on. Let's talk a little more about that. Smiley face. All right, so Volve, let's finish up. All right, oh, we got some more here in YouTube. Hey, what's up, Ekaterina? KSS. Oh, you got PayPal on there. I don't like PayPal. All right, Kohl's. Okay. Well, I like something that's definitely depressed. Not in the thinking sense, the brain sense, but in the price sense. So the big volume profile level is 2073, and then in this range right here, it's kind of hard to really get something here because it's just kind of hanging around. But if you can get this thing to move up, it's just really kind of, let me go to the weekly. Makes sense why it's kind of hanging around here. Oh, interesting. That's all the way down here. I like that. See, these are the kind of things that you see in hindsight that's just like, I really want to catch one of these things. So this volume profile level from 1998 all the way to 1999 was the bottom, the very precise bottom of the 2008 cycle. Actually, let's do this. Let's go down to the daily because we want to get down low and we want to really see what is the proper level. Okay, maybe we're gonna miss it. Maybe it's not as nice as I thought it was. Yeah, because that level's down here. Okay, not as perfect. Zoop, no. Kohl's, I can't really give any opinion on because I'm not seeing any good like solid pullback. I mean, it's got levels, but it's not really apparent to me. Let's see, PayPal. Kind of gross. Not gonna lie. I had PayPal here at 196. And accidentally, and that it was an account I didn't really look at, bag held it all the way to probably like 90 or something in here, and I got rid of it, and I'm glad that I did because it has since and still every time I look at it not recovered. That being said, let's do proper work here, and let's see where we can find maybe a major level that this thing could hold. So grab that price error right there, 77. Get it. 77.92. And then maybe these levels down here. Just grab these. Yeah, that's the same level. That one. So those are going to be our major bottom levels. And let's see how price has responded. Oh, there's one more down here. That's really a deadly one, 58. But let's see how price has responded to PayPal around here. Well, it is around the 58. So it basically, let me clean that up, hasn't shown very much respect except using these things as resistances. I mean, you have some respect, some minor respect, but I love buying stuff that's very low and depressed. Walgreens is actually one that I really, really like, even though I've already bought it once and closed it when it stopped out, but it's come down to 17.51. So I definitely like buying stuff that's very, very low and depressed, but I'm not seeing it. WBA, though, 17.51 is one of the last levels there on that one. That's why I thought about it when I'm looking at some of these. I like what you're doing here, but I just don't have as much of an opinion about these. Yeah, so I see what you're going for here. I want to try to get deals on things, but I think I'm more specialized in pullbacks, honestly, where you have like a nice solid trend. I think someone might have mentioned RTX. I mean, this is one from earlier in the year. Defense contractor, obviously, they're selling lots of missiles. Yeah, Kohl's. Well, Kohl's was not a GME stock. Kohl's was the Becky index. All right, Netflix. All right, well, let's see. Palladium. Oh, so RTX timeframe weekly Ichimoku. I think RTX Ichimoku has sort of, it is breaking out, but it's also now at these all-time high levels. And so what you really need on, I can just clean this up. What you really, really need, and to kind of clean things up on the monthly, is you should be long that 50% that it made in October, which was just a given because of all the missiles that Israel is going to be buying. You really, really want to have a solid monthly close above 106.02 to call this thing bullish. Because yes, it has started trending on the weekly Ichimoku. You do have it out, but just like in Bitcoin, though Ichimoku tells you it's trending, you have that big former all-time high that everybody knows about. Not everybody knows about Ichimoku, but they know about that all-time high, and so you need a monthly close above that. And so you're long to that point, and then you got to wait to see. You can probably get down to the weekly, and we'll look for like a weekly close above it. Get 2 weekly bars above 106.02 to close, and you're probably good to go. And so that was what I would say about RTX, but you need that. All right, Palladium. Palladium. All right, commodity. Trying to catch a deal. I have not started doing volume profile on any commodities. I think I did it with gold, but I wasn't too impressed. But let's just do it. Nope, we don't have data. Nope, there's no volume data. Can't do it. On a sheer level perspective, maybe I could do it in something else. But 9/13/30, just on a pure level-based perspective, this inversion point is pretty clear. You might be having a hold of that level. If that is the case, then what I would actually be, in my past life, I would have just taken along like so, where we are going to try to long the Tinkinson recapture, which is the 50% of this level off of the major level up to the 50%. Give ourselves a 3-to-1 risk-reward ratio, and that is your trade on Palladium. Now, on Palladium, I know with futures, I don't really think anyone wants to take a 400 or almost a 400-point stop on that, unless it's like micros, but that's the general gist of it. Maybe there's some options that you can play on that. So yeah, because that's going to be a lot of money. I don't even know how much, but I just know it's a lot. It's for big boys. All right, so but yeah, I mean, it 9/13/30. That's it's already shown you. It pinged it, got back above it. That's a weekly, so this is pretty prominent. But you just need to not let it break that 9/13/30. Not let it break that recent low. All right, Netflix is going to be our last one, and then I'm going to get some dinner. I wish you all a good weekend. Netflix, hopefully I didn't miss anything. Netflix is, I like the short back in July of last year, stopped out. I haven't done a volume profile on it. Let's do it. So, key eras. So this trend up, this consolidation here. Actually, I'll be a little more specific to that. Okay. And maybe grab the top here. Go down to a daily. Make sure it's nice and granular. This is what I would do for a fresh volume profile analysis. So it's good that I'm doing this on Netflix. Boom, boom. Yeah. So let me just grab the top here, and then I'll grab separately this bottom down like this. Okay. All right. So our key levels. Okay. It's going to be real big level at 507. We've got a level here. Oh, that's, yeah, at 634. And, yep. I'm going to say there's a little bit of a level here at 549. Definitely a level down here at 371. A little closer than there. That's a volume node here. Okay. And I am going to, yeah, we'll do that one too. Those are going to be our key volume. And what I'm doing is I'm going through these histograms and I'm finding the most prominent bulges. And then we're going to go forward and we're going to see if we can find some tradable levels. Do we have any tops? It's kind of choppy. Probably the volume profile high is at. 678. All right, so let's see. As price comes along, there we see in February of 2023, we had a hold there, so we know that level is definitely prominent. Then you had a gap above it, looked pretty good. I might be off on this level right here. This one's probably not as quite a valid of a level. Was this a, yeah, so might want to throw that one out, but we'll keep it. And then holds and then gaps up, holds this level right here, and then comes back and holds it again. So 549, look at that. I tried to really draw these out so that I wouldn't be influenced. I tried to like not think about where it was, but just draw them out. But it's definitely caught between two levels right here that we can see very, very clearly. And those are from that high that it made in 2021 and also this big gobbledygook in 2020. And so really these levels are probably the most important. I don't want to throw out this one right here, maybe refine it a little bit as a lower one, but I'm very confident in these levels right here, and you can see it. Try to be as objective as I could about it, and that's the beauty of it, is oftentimes it works just that well. Definitely that resistance is key, has been key, 635, because again, that was the volume profile level up here of the 2021 highs, and so that definitely held it. And now it's come to this 549. It must hold here to stay bullish. Very, very clear. The way up, not quite as clear, but right now is caught. It's caught in this range right here, and I'll be comfortable saying that which way it breaks is going to be which way it goes. I would even be comfortable saying if you want to try to get long off this level, I'm not going to be mad at you. Like getting long off 549 is good, but if it breaks this gap in here, it's going to fill that gap. And so you're going to come all the way back down to 548, and that's going to get interesting there. And then we can see where the level is here. It's probably going to be down right in here. So I'd rather probably make this level, update it to here as being more relevant because it's more recent and you have more respect for it. So those are going to be your levels on Netflix. Yeah. You basically would want to put your stop below at 535. Let me just draw it out. So long here, to here, stop just below there, and I'm going to save this, and we'll come back for the next person to ask me, and we'll see if that works. And so I'm actually going to give you a credit. I want to see what happens with this. So this is Coffee Guru. All right. And that's going to be it for today. Thank you, guys. Want to see you back again next week. We'll talk more about volume profile. I want you guys to use this. Use this in your daily trading. Make some money. When I stay up too late playing Valheim, I want you guys up in the morning making money. All right? We'll see you again next week. Trade wisely. Bye-bye.